you're watching News First.
28 persons who were involved in incidents of election-related violence in view of the upcoming provincial council election have been arrested.
Now, according to the police media spokesperson's office, a majority of these individuals were arrested from the Vavuniya district, with the number standing at 8.
Suspects who were allegedly involved in election violence were arrested in the Hatton, Kandy, Kurunegala and Matale areas as well. Also, 60 complaints have been lodged with the police on the violation of election laws and on incidents where posters and cutouts were damaged. Meanwhile, the complaints unit of the Election Secretariat said that it had received 196 complaints on violation of election laws and incidents of election-related violence. It added that a majority of these complaints were reported from the Kurunegala district, with the number standing at 46. Meanwhile, CAFE, or the Campaign for Free and Fair Election, which is an election monitoring body, said that it has received 223 complaints in connection to the upcoming election.
CAFE has so far received 226 incidents of election law violations and election violence incidents, and 76 out of these are the abuse of state property and the government servants get involved with elections and using the public and the provincial council properties such as vehicles, circuit bungalows and the other public properties for the election campaigning. And most number of election-related violence incidents were reported from Kurunegala and Nuwara districts. And the highest number of incidents were reported from once again in Kurunegala. The abuse of public property is much higher than the other province districts.
Meanwhile, Director of PAFL, Rohan Hettiarchi, said that they had received 178 complaints of election violence. We have received 113 complaints from the Central Province, 43 from the Northwestern Province and 21 from the Northern Province. The majority of the complaints were received against the Alliance or complaints relating to conflicts between groups of the Alliance. We have received one complaint against the TNA in the Northern Province. There is a complaint against the UNP in the Vanni area.
United People Freedom Alliance candidate for the Northwestern Provincial Council, Dasiri Jayasekara, says that the Provincial Council should be vested with the power to formulate a program on graduates. Dasiri Jayasekara expressed this view at a meeting in Hettipola today.
I think the provincial councils need to be able to formulate a program regarding the recruitment of graduates to the state service from the respective districts when problems arise. The councils can implement projects to address this issue. Nothing is impossible. We can implement a large number of projects and launch a recruitment drive. I will obtain the necessary allocations and commence a program to resolve the issues of the graduates after the 22nd of next month.
In the meantime, the attorney of Northwestern Provincial Council candidate Dasiri Jayasekara has sent a letter of demand against parliamentarian Ranjan Ramanayaka demanding 500 million rupees. The letter of demand, which was sent by attorney at law Sudanta Senarath Banda, states that his client was inconvenienced due to certain remarks made by Ranjan Ramanayaka. The letter of demand further reads that if Ranjan Ramanayaka fails and neglects to pay and settle 500 million rupees, Dasiri Jayasekara will institute legal action.
Well, up next is a look at Action TV.
At present, elders' homes are set up without any management structure parallel to the urbanization that is taking place in the country. One could say that this development is partially the result of the breakdown of traditional family values that hitherto prevailed in this country. The secret behind some elders' homes maintaining high standards when taking care of their occupants is that a certain amount is being charged from the residents of these institutions. There are elders' homes that are governed and administered by volunteer organizations as well. However, caring for those senior citizens is not considered a voluntary service but is a responsibility and duty of the respective families. It is also the responsibility of the government to provide the care to the elderly who have let go of their families and who have failed to fulfill their responsibilities. The government is also not duty-bound to provide care of the elders who have been let go of their families. Therefore, the duty of the divisions in the government is to also look into the reasons that have forced the families to let go of their parents and elders. Dahiyathakande is an area with diverse and vast family trees. Therefore, is it the responsibility of the department under the Ministry of Social Service to probe into the reasons that force for the establishment of a home for the elders in an area where families solely depend on agriculture? Priority needs to be given by those departments into resolving the issues that force for the establishment of the home for the elders. This elders' home was set up at a building abandoned by the Sri Lanka Transport Board. It has been 7 long years since a new building was constructed to replace the abandoned shelter. However, these elders are yet to receive the facilities that are required from an establishment of this nature. It has been 2 years since the administrators of this home for the elders withdrew from their duties. It is the Dahiyathakande Divisional Secretariat that needs to appoint a council for the administration of this home for the elders, which is functioning in a dilapidated building. These individuals who voluntarily care for the elders at these premises are not capable of carrying out all their duties. Don't these actions of neglecting caring for the elders who have been let go from their families and have been rendered helpless highlight a message, the dire need to take care of the elders? Minister of Social Services, this is over to you.
A drastic increase in robberies. 2 burglars break into a finance company and steal gold. Security cameras capture footage of a robbery at a shop. Security cameras capture footage of 6 shops being robbed. 10 million rupees stolen. Security cameras capture footage of 7.5 million rupees being stolen opposite a private factory. Security cameras capture footage of 18 million rupees and gold being stolen from a private company. Around 600,000 rupees stolen from a shop. To the attention of the public.
The footage that you just witnessed were captured by News First provincial correspondent Atula Bandara while he was in the Thammannawa 9 Ella area in Ehatuava, Galgamore.
Let's take a look at the detailed story.
A female elephant that was stuck in an agrarian well went on a rampage after it was rescued. The elephant may have acted in this manner in a bid to protect her young calf. However, after freeing the elephant and the calf, the 2 individuals who assisted in the rescue operation had to fight for their lives. Though the assistant operator of the backhoe had to run around it, the other was forced to crawl under it to avoid being mauled by the angry elephant. It is indeed fortunate that no casualties were reported at the end.
On Business News tonight, the price of cinnamon in the domestic market has plunged.
The Sri Lanka Cinnamon Research Station says that the price of a kilogram of Alba cinnamon, which was priced at 2,200 Sri Lankan rupees, has dropped to 1,700 Sri Lankan rupees.
Meanwhile, the price of a kilogram of hard bark cinnamon had declined to 850 rupees from 1,200 Sri Lankan rupees. The Sri Lankan Cinnamon Research Station points out that the mass production of cinnamon in the coastal belt of the country has caused the prices to decline.
An apple a day keeps the doctor away. A notion that was once popular has now transformed into 30 minutes of exercise a day keeps the doctor away.
News First, Katrina Chang reports.
People have been riding bicycles to work since the initial bicycle heyday of the 1890s. According to the website Bike to Work, the practice continued until the 1920s when biking experienced a sharp drop-off in part due to the growth of suburbs and the popularity of the car. 10 hours and 23 minutes and 51 seconds on two wheels from Colombo to Trincomalee, Yasas Hevage, who is a banker by profession, took to the streets to promote the message of creating an environment of sustainable transportation as solution to climate change and promote healthy lifestyle.
Last month we did another ride. In fact, that was almost unthought of. We thought of riding to Point Pedro from Point Gondra in 4 days, and we ended up actually doing it in 3 days, 5 of us, an out of this world experience right through the middle of the country.
According to the World Health Organization's non-communicable diseases or NCDs are by far the leading cause of death in the world, representing 63% of annual deaths, of which 80% of NCD deaths occur in low and middle income countries.
Actually, when you see this in this 21st century, one of the main challenges in the health sector that we are experiencing is the rise of non-communicable diseases and the impact caused by these non-communicable diseases, such as diabetes, hypertension, and heart diseases that you see. So, one of the main reasons when you think why these people fall into this non-communicable disease is actually the lifestyle or the life pattern of living that we are actually experiencing.
Cycling as one way we can really energize the youth of this country, and also to be environmentally conscious, because it's the most cleanest form of transport if you want to get from point A to point B.
So while Napoli Day is still sound advice, it seems that exercising every day is the new and improved ticket to keeping the doctors away. Katrina Chang, News First, Colombo.
Starting off international news this evening, a group of 36 Syrian government soldiers were injured yesterday after rebel militants allegedly released a chemical substance around their hideouts near Damascus.
Now, according to a field surgeon with the government forces, the Syrian soldiers were nearly suffocated by chemical substance while they were attempting to enter a rebel-held suburb.
The government forces found a number of grenades and shells, as well as medicines such as atropine that can be used to cure chemical poisoning, hidden in the basement of an abandoned building. The incident came only a few days after the rebels accused the government troops of using the nerve agent sarin in eastern Al-Ghouta. The government denied the accusation, saying the incident only plays into the hand of the rebels in encouraging their long-held dream of foreign intervention in Syria. Meanwhile, aid group MSF has said thousands of people suffered neurotoxic symptoms and 355 of them died following an alleged chemical weapons attack in Syrian capital Damascus. MSF Director of Operations Bart Jansen said a total of 3,600 victims flooded 3 hospitals within hours of the reported attack on the Al-Ghouta suburb on Wednesday, adding that the symptoms the victims experienced strongly indicate mass exposure to a neurotoxic agent. His statement came as the UN High Representative for Disarmament Affairs Angela Kane arrived in Damascus to push for UN inspectors to be granted access to the attack site. The inspectors themselves arrived on a mission to investigate all the claims of the use of chemical weapons just days before the attack. Rebel groups in Syria have blamed the attack on the regime of President Bashar al-Assad. The regime denies responsibility but has so far not allowed UN inspectors into the attack site. Meanwhile, the White House has said that President Barack Obama received a detailed review of a range of potential options from his top advisors on how the United States and its allies could respond to an alleged chemical weapons attack in Syria. The White House statement said the US President also spoke with David Cameron, the British Prime Minister, about Syria by telephone yesterday and agreed to consult about potential responses by the international community. The statement did not provide details about what options were under consideration and gave no indication about Obama's timeline for making a decision on the issue. U.S. Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel said today the Pentagon was prepared to carry out military options on Syria should Obama choose to exercise any of them.
We are prepared to exercise whatever option if he decides to employ one of those options.